All right, everybody, we got a great episode for you today. I'm super, super excited. We got on my buddy Evan Zaremba, Flip Daddy. If you have a house in Delco, this guy will buy it, and he'll buy it quick. I'll tell you that much. He's one of my favorite guys in real estate. You got to follow his Facebook. It is hilarious. He's the funniest guy on Facebook. So I'm super excited to sit down with him. You guys are going to really, really love it. But before we get into it, you already know the drill. This episode is brought to you by Renovo Financial. So if you want a hard money loan, you want to get in the game, you want to start flipping these houses, and you need a hard money loan, hit up my man Jeremy from Renovo. They're the best to work with. Everyone I know making a ton of bread is using them. And when you want to refinance out into a DSCR loan, if you are a landlord and you want to stack up these rentals, dude, guess who else does DSCR loans, baby? Renovo Financial. They're a one-stop shop. Y'all are going to love it. There we go. All right, happy hunting. Let's get into it. Evan, thank you so much for coming on.
Nicky the Robe.
Yeah, Nicky
Under
the
robe
Robe.
with Nicky the Robe. No robe today, huh?
No robe today.
That's right.
Today.
That's right.
All these people, they don't want to see me in a robe. So I'm giving them normal clothes.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
That's
you
true.
never know.
You know what?
You never do.
Don't cut them short. Maybe they want the robe.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I just did a solo episode recently, and I did it all in the robe.
Did you? Yeah.
Listen, I got to get the people what they want.
Yeah,
know?
they do want that.
And if I don't hit them with the robe, they're gonna forget I'm the guy in the robe.
When you asked me to come on, I was gonna either get a robe or get it like a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
But I ended up going with Bluey.
Hey, you're Flip Daddy, so rocking the bluey shirt.
Rocking the Bluey shirt, yeah.
That's pretty gas.
Yeah.
I dig it, bro.
Thank
Looking
you.
like $1 million. There we go.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
You're one of my
pleasure.
favorite real estate people that are in the area for sure. You're my favorite guy in all of Facebook.
Why is that?
Bro, you're a better Facebook than anyone I've ever met. I am your biggest Facebook fan.
Thank
for
you.
Sure. I think
Thank
you're
you.
so funny. All the way where you're like, still true.
Still true, yeah. Yeah.
I think-
Sometimes I got to go back on my memories and just reinforce them.
Yeah.
Still true. Yeah.
I like that because a lot of my things I've said in the past, I'm like, that was wrong.
Right.
But all yours are like,
They're just still.
that's legit.
I'm holding true.
It comes with age, though.
This does.
So I think everything I say now, like next year, I can put still true.
You could do that, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, even from last year, if a memory comes up, I may start new. It's still true.
Right. Well, you're a young dad, so once you get to have a kid for a couple of years and you start gaining it's a different perspective in life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dad strength in my mind. It's like,
Right. Right.
not just in the guns.
I was rolled with somebody today, and he's like, do you lift weights? I used to lift weights. I haven't lifted weights in a long, years.
You do look like you lift weights.
Wow, this is old muscle. Right? This is old muscle. And he's like, you strong. I'm like, it's dad strength, dude.
Yeah,
Dad's strength.
it's
You know?
dad
Yeah.
strength.
From taking off the kids.
Yes. Every kid you have, you get an extra 10 pounds of muscle.
Right.
Or belly fat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, both. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, bro. I love it. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, bro, I want to talk about how much you crush Facebook and social media.
Okay.
Like, I think a lot of us, like myself included, I'm spending a bunch of money for marketing. Like, a bunch of people, like, a lot of people that follow this are doing, they're scratching elbows, doing tags, doing the cold call, all this stuff. And, like, you just post on social media every day. You're getting deals like that. It's super cool. So, let's talk about that. Private lending, flipping houses, how you got started into everything. Shoot the shit,
Yeah.
What the hell?
Where do you want to start?
Well, so let me ask, how did you get into all this?
How did I get into real estate?
How did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate probably in around 2007. When I started. I was living in China in 2004, 5, 6. I came back in the beginning of 2007, and so I was a young man back then. And I read, I was just out of college, lived over there for a couple of years. I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad books.
Okay.
I felt like I had been lied to my whole life. And I felt like that I had, that the school system kind of was just a joke. And I wanted to get into real estate. I was like, the real estate is the way to go. So I got into real estate. So I started buying rental properties, I didn't know how to do wholesaling. I didn't really know how to do any kind of like flip stuff, but I knew how to do like the burr. Like I had like the basic burr strategy. So I partnered with a friend of mine, and he had like access to a bank. He had a relationship with a banker, and this guy gave us ridiculous lines of credit. This is like back when you get like a note from your mom saying you're good for the loan, right? That was the application process, right? So it wasn't really like that, but it was like, but that's one of the reasons why the whole banking system like collapsed back in 2008, because they were doing all these like whack ass loans. So, and they were giving them to people like us. So we ended up defaulting on, we ended up collapsing. And I was almost like $1 million in debt, bad debt, and and it just kind of like I didn't know what I was doing. I made a lot of mistakes, right? So kind of knocked me out of the real estate. So I got into sales. So I did sales for a long time, for about 6 years straight, just solid sales, right? I was doing in-home sales. So I really focused on getting better at that and doing that. And I knew.
What were you selling?
I did. I sold security systems. And I sold remodeling. So I would sell
like home remodeling.
The windows.
In home, like you're going door to door or calling, whatever it is, but you're like going into the person's home and selling them.
The way the company had it set up, they would get me in the door. I didn't have to get in the door. They did the marketing. They had door knockers. They had cold callers. They had that was the marketing aspect of it. They got my foot in the door, and I did the sales presentation. So I was a one-call closer.
Fire.
So one-call closer, I don't know if you're familiar with one-call closer. One-call closer, you go out, you do a dog and pony show for basically an hour.
Dog and pony show.
You do an hour or two presentation. You ask for their business, and then you either close it or that you never see them again. That's it. So I had one shot, one opportunity, and this was every single day for years. And so I got good at, if I didn't close, I'm not seeing them again. If I don't close, I'm not making money. So I'm closing the deal. I'm doing whatever I got to do to close the deal. The thing was, I had this like mentality. I was like, I'm either going to stay here until they say yes, ethically. Or they're going to ask me, or they're going to politely ask me to leave. And sometimes it wasn't polite.
And that's right. Forget it.
Yeah. So that's what I did. So then, so after that little real estate mini empire collapsed, I went into sales for the next 6 years, and then all of a sudden, this guy that I knew, who I was working with, all of a sudden he shows up one day to work, and he's not. When we had to wear like a tie, like a shirt and tie, to the office, right? It was a very formal. Like
formal job.
Yeah, formal and a lot of companies didn't do this, but this company did that. So he shows up one day looking like this, right? And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm quitting." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I'm doing some real estate stuff." He's like, "We're basically flipping houses." He said flipping houses. He was wholesaling.
Yeah.
He didn't know what the hell wholesaling was, but I was like, he explained it to me, and I'm like, "That's wholesaling."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, we got to stay in contact here, right?
Because it's cool. Yeah, you're interested.
So we stayed in contact, and then basically, I think maybe a year later, I started trying to do some own marketing. We ended up teaming up. We started doing wholesaling together, and then I got back. I was back in the game, man. I was back in the game. So I did wholesaling for about another like 5 or 6 years after that.
And you quit the home.
Yeah. Within 6 months. Within 6 months, I was able to make double what I was making doing there.
Yeah.
And I was able to do wholesaling full time.
Let's go.
Within 6 months.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a beast of a sales guy though. So for you, it wasn't that complicated.
It wasn't that complicated, yeah. Because I got my foot in the door.
Yeah.
Right? So
you're used to being in there for an hour on this appointment.
Then I had to figure out how to get my foot in the door.
Yeah,
right? So
that's the whole marketing thing. Yeah.
Learn the whole marketing aspect of it. So I did that for about 5 years, and then I was like, well, let me see if I could do like a flip, right? Because maybe it's not that hard, right? Because like how hard can it be, right?
Yeah.
I always my attitude is like, if this guy's doing it, that guy's doing it, how hard can it be?
It can't be that,
right? It's not that, it's not rocket science, and if it is, I'll learn the math, right? So I started doing a flip, and then I was like, okay, and then instead of making 10 grand, I was like, I made 30 grand, and then I was like, I got to wait a minute. I got to stop chasing deals and just start figuring out how to start like find these deals and then start flipping them, and I started building a rental portfolio.
Yeah.
And I started to learn how to raise private money, and then I did that. I've been doing that for the last couple of years. So that's like the next thing. I feel like wholesaling is kind of like, once you learn how to wholesale, then you got to learn how to do construction management and learn how to flip properties, and then probably the next thing after that will be, private lending. But that's like a long way off. Build my rental portfolio, build the company that I'm doing, like flipping stuff, and then eventually maybe do something different, like private lending. Instead of me borrowing, I'll lend.
Yeah, which is that's at the top of the castle. Yeah. Oh, I think
so. That's kind of that. That's kind of like in a nutshell what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's been your progression.
That's been my progression. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So how long have you not been wholesaling? Like how long would you say did you?
3 years.
Oh, okay, cool.
About 3 years I haven't wholesaled anything.
Oh, do you miss wholesaling or?
Not one bit, man.
Not one bit.
I hated it.
Really? Tell me more. Why do you hate it so much?
Because you're dealing with distressed sellers, and they're in distressed situations, and that energy has an effect on you. You know what I mean? If somebody passed away, somebody's behind on their back taxes, somebody's house is falling apart, you're dealing with all that emotion,
facts,
and it just weighs on you. If you're a human being, my wife sometimes jokes that I'm a robot, but I'm not really a robot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's really funny.
But kind of that kind of that energy of distress and bad luck and these bad things happening, and you're in wholesaling, right? The people that talk the most, and they're the most neurotic, and they're the ones that you want to, like, if you weren't going to wholesale their house, you'd want to get away from them as fast as you can. Those are the best deals.
Yes.
Those are the best deals.
The craziest sellers are the best deals.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I dealt with that time and time again. And I didn't like judge them or anything, but it's like, this is like, oh man, I just got to kind of get out, do something different.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, once I started, then it's like, okay, now I started making relationships with wholesalers, getting those deals. You guys deal with that stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
better. Y'all deal with it.
Yeah, you deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you think it's a lot easier to get deals as a flipper then, in comparison to being a wholesaler, going direct to seller?
Oh yeah. Because also there's wholesalers are all over the place.
Right? Yeah, you got to
you just got to know who to talk. I mean, every morning I open up my email. This buyers list for this, 10 different buyers lists. I get people sending me deals all the time through Facebook, Facebook Messenger. You texting me stuff. People are texting me stuff. I got realtors reaching out to me.
You're Flip Daddy.
I'm Flip Daddy.
Yeah, you're Flip Daddy. Come on.
Well, you got a house to flip? Send it my way.
Yeah, Flip Daddy.
Right.
Yeah, so it's good. So basically, like, it's all inbound for you.
Yes. Yeah. It's. I mean, so. Yes. Yeah. So, and the other thing is, like you said, I'm your favorite person on Facebook, right?
My favorite person. If you're not following Evan on Facebook, you're crazy. He's the funniest guy on Facebook, for sure.
And you send me stuff,
right? You're always top of mind because you're always making me laugh every day.
Right.
Not even on purpose either. You're just funny.
Thank you. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, so like other people, I might not be their favorite, but they're like, oh, hey, this guy's funny, or he's a family guy, or I like his deals, or he's doing this and that, and I'm sending him his stuff. Like I talk to other people that are like they do real estate, and like they don't post anything, they don't say anything funny, they don't do it. And it's like, dude, it's the easiest way to keep getting deals. It's just like posting this stuff.
So that people know.
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't, it's not that much effort.
It really isn't that much effort.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time if you're scrolling everyone's shit, but if you're just posting, it does not take that much time.
My whole thing is, and the thing is, like, I don't have a huge following, right? I have like 7,000 people on Facebook, right? I'm probably at the 4,000 or 5,000 friends person, and a couple of the 1,000 people follow me.
Yeah.
And my profile is public. Right, so pretty much anybody can look at my profile. Anybody can follow me on Facebook, and my goal is, if you're a wholesaler, if you're looking for a deal, if you're a realtor that deals with off-market properties, my goal is to just be on your radar. right? Because what'll happen is you have a buyer's list, right? You might have a buyer's list of 1,000 people or 5,000 people that you can email that out to. But if we have a personal relationship or you like me, you're going to send me that deal first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know, hey, I'm buying, right? If you know I'm buying something in Delaware County, I'm the go-to guy, right? If you got something out in, you know, like I don't know, like northeast Philly, like, you know, I'm not going to buy that because it's not my area. But if you know that, hey, this is, boom, I got a Delco deal, it's yours.
I mean, hit up Flip Daddy.
Yeah,
that's what I do. If I got a Delco deal,
send it my way.
Flip Daddy.
Yes. So my goal, being a flipper, is just to get on wholesalers, realtors, anybody with a deal, get on their radar. Private lender, stuff like that. Like I have people like, hey, can I lend you my money? Can I, hey, I got a deal for you. Hey,
yeah.
My goal is just to be on your radar, right? Because I did 18 flips last year, and I'll probably do between 20 and 30 this year.
Okay.
Right? Maybe 25, maybe, I don't know. So
really? Good for you.
I'm kind of
Heck yeah.
on pace for that, right? So I'm not doing 100. Like there's guys out there that are doing 100.
Yeah, but the guys that are doing 100 have huge teams. Like,
right. I don't have an office. I don't have, like a bunch of project managers and this.
No, exactly. They're set up so much differently than you're set up. So like for you doing more than 20 flips,
right,
bro, that's really good.
If I have relationships with 12 wholesalers, let's say 12, and each one of them sends me 2 deals per year. Well, you can send me 1 million deals, but if I buy 1 or 2 deals, that's 2 deals a month, right? That's 1 to 2 deals every single month. That's it.
That's a great.
How many did we did 2 deals last year?
We did 2 deals last year?
I think we did 2 deals last year.
We definitely did at least 2 deals.
Yeah, we did the 2 in Derby. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did 1 deal. So you owe me another one.
I owe you another deal. I owe you another deal.
Right, yeah.
You know, you see the one tomorrow, maybe that'll be the other deal.
There you go. Yeah.
Bing, boom. On to the races.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 this year.
Let's do 3. I'd love it.
Yeah. There we go.
Go-to guy. Yeah. So that's just what my goal is to get. With social media, you just want to get attention, right? So you want to be funny. You want to be relatable. You want to be controversial. You don't want to be too much. You
don't want to be a jerk.
You don't want to be too much of a jerk, but you can be a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah, and you don't want to be too controversial.
No,
but you want to be yourself.
Right.
You want to be yourself.
Exactly.
It's better to be yourself and controversial than to be bland and nothing.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because authenticity, like, they see the authenticity.
Yeah.
They see it,
People like that, yeah.
They really do. They like it. It's good. Hey, you do a great job. I really like it. You always crack me up, for sure. There'll be like the groups. You don't deserve any deals. You'll think it's crazy stuff when it's so real. And like,
but some of that, because, so I think what you're talking about is there's these, it's like real estate mastermind.
Yeah, all these like BS groups.
It's like, and there's like 200,000 people there. And what I think that these groups are, half of them are bots that are posting.
Yes,
so
for sure.
I'm responding to the bot.
Yeah,
it's not I know it's not a real person.
No, yeah. The reason you're not doing any deals is because you don't deserve deals.
Because I said they'll say some stupid thing. It'll be like, I'm gay and I just moved to MAGA country. I'm worried about how I'm going to get deals.
Yeah,
like I see the same post like 7 different places. It's like, and the reason why they post it is because they get engagement.
Yes.
And then what happens is they post how to get leads. So it's like a lead source, like how to get, I know like Zilla's one of them, but they do, it's like, hey, buy my leads here, buy my leads there. So that's all they're doing. That's the business model. But so it's not really an actual person usually that's like.
No.
Yeah.
Even when but I'll see on Facebook that you're even like the funny things that you say to those people, I'll be like, oh yeah, Evan's that funny. Evan's that funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a really good job with it.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. So, did you ever backtrack? You said that you, because I've heard you put this on Facebook once before. It was very encouraging and inspiring to me.
Okay.
Because I when you posted it at a time where my whole shit just blew up and I had to restart. Mm-hmm. But so you got caught holding the bag, like $1 million in debt. Mm-hmm. How'd you get out? Tell me about that. Do you mind talking about it?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, I think it's super baller. I think it's so badass that that happened and now where you are now.
So how do you get $1 million? How do I get $1 million in debt? And then how do you get out of it? Okay.
Facts.
So back in 2010, I was almost $1 million in debt. I have it like written down. I had because I had to. I'm like, shit, I got to do something because it's either declare bankruptcy or figure out a way.
Yes.
So the first thing you have to do is you got to make a decision that you're gonna get out no matter what. Right. You have to make. That was a decision that I made.
Yes.
I made a decision. That's what you do with anything. If you have a if you have a goal or you want to do something, you have to decide right then and there. I'm going to do this. Right. When I started doing Jiu Jitsu, I decided I'm going to train until I get a black belt. And I know that it takes about 10 years to get a black belt. It took me over 20 years to get a black belt. I was going to get it.
Yeah.
So, same thing. $1 million in debt. So most of it was loans for houses, right? So like I owned a bunch of rental properties and we defaulted on them. So I had to make this, and then some of it was private loans, right? And then a bunch of it was also credit cards. I racked up a bunch of credit cards. So I had to figure out, I had to finagle, how am I going to pay off these loans, and how am I going to pay off the private lenders, and what am I going to do? Yeah. So I had a whole strategy. I had what credit card, I knew when I was going to default, and I knew immediately within 30 days after I defaulted that I was going to get cut from any credit that I had.
Yeah.
So any credit that I had, might not be a great thing, but I knew that I had access to that to pay something else off.
Yeah.
So anything that was a institutional lending, like with a bank or with a credit card, I settled. So I settled. I didn't pay back the full amount.
Yeah.
So back then you could settle, and what you do is you basically drag it out for as long as you can until they threaten legal proceedings, and then file for like a judgment for you. So back then it was kind of like the Wild West. Like the whole world was going to shit, so you had a lot of leverage.
You were one of a million people that.
It's like I'm not the only. They're like blah 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 blah. You got $30,000 in debt. I'm like, you and so does everybody else,
everyone.
Right? So it's not like you got leverage on me, right? So I would borrow. So I'd be like, okay, I got $30,000 in debt. Okay, well, how much will you take for it? Well, we'll take 15. I'll be like, well, I'm offering you 2,000. No, we cannot do 2,000. I'm like, well, what can you do better than the 15? And they'll say, well, okay, well, we can.
Well, I'll offer you.
Yeah.
That's so
I'll offer you 2,000.
Yeah.
You want 2,000 or you want nothing? No. Okay, well, we'll take 10. No, I can't do 10. I could do 3,000. Okay, well, we'll take 5. You take 5. Send it over to me in writing, and I want to do it over 3 payments. So I want to pay $1,500, $1,500, whatever. So then I would do that. So then I had a card. So I was able to basically rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yes.
To reduce that 30,000 to 5,000 in a lot of cases. And so I settled. So any credit card, I settled for pennies on the dollar. The houses, a bunch of them, they were in an LLC, and the bank went solvent or insolvent? The bank went under.
The bank went under.
So I'm like, well, wait a minute. If the bank goes under,
who am I paying?
You know? Yeah. So then some other schmuck goes out and buys the bank for pennies on the dollar. So so I just let it go. So there was like 5 houses that I had with these commercial loans, and I just let them go. So they went
they took
foreclosure.
That's fine. Take them.
And then there was a couple, and then a couple houses I was able to sell, and then anybody that I owed personally, I paid them back. And then there was this one woman. So I bought her house, and I bought her house with a second. She carried a second mortgage, basically. Yes. So she did the seller financing. That house got foreclosed on. So that wiped away her second mortgage. Now, I knew this, right? And this is somebody that I owed personally. So 6 years later, when I got back into wholesaling, I called her. I found her. I called her up. And I said, how much do I owe you? She goes, you owe me still $14,000. So I sent her, I did it over a couple of months. I was able to send her $14,000 and pay her back, right? So I paid her back finally.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It took a while.
It took a while, but I did it.
But you still did it.
I did it. Yeah. I didn't have to, but I still did it.
6 years went by. You could have, she probably already accepted that loss and you paid her back.
Right,
that's so cool.
Right. Yeah. So that's how I did. So I made a decision, figured out a plan, and just did it.
Bro, that's cool.
Yeah.
How long did the human beings that you borrowed money from? How long did it take to pay them back? It was a while.
No. There wasn't that many private lenders. It was only a couple of them, and I think I owed that they were mortgages on houses. They were like first or second mortgages on a house, and I sold the house. So I sold the house, paid them back. The only one was the second mortgage with this one lady, and then I ended up paying her back in full.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah. It's cool. I think it's cool that you went through that.
Yeah.
onto the others. Not during
It wasn't cool at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
But like you went through that and you said, screw it, you went back and eventually went back into real estate and look at you now. You know? I think it's pretty badass.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
What the heck? You know, if you can get through that, you can get through anything.
I guess.
I guess.
I don't want to go through that again, you know?
No, but because you didn't go through it, I don't think that you would go through it.
No. I did. I'm much different now.
Yeah, of course.
Different person back then.
Yeah, you wild ball.
Wild ball, yeah.
Yeah, but now you flip daddy.
Now I'm flip daddy, yes.
I love it. I love that.
Right.
So and now you're not doing anything with banks. It's just all private lenders for the most
No,
part.
I do stuff with banks. Yeah.
Do you?
So, yeah, I'll do cash out refis.
Okay.
Well, I'll do. I've route properties. You know, I have like a portfolio.
Yeah,
small portfolio.
those are your refinance.
Yes, yeah.
To purchase properties, you're not using the bank.
Purchase properties, no, I use private lending.
Private
Yep.
lending. Okay.
Yep.
Well, next refi, you got to use Renovo Financial. Everybody.
All right,
You gotta
I'll check them out.
If you're looking to get a decent DSCR loan, Renovo Financial to take care of you.
Yeah, because that's what I do, a DSCR loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll link you with Jeremy. He'll take care of you. Especially if you're my boy, he'll super take care of you.
Okay, awesome. I'll check it out. Love to.
What the heck? What the heck? But when you buy it, though, you're using all private money.
All private. Yep.
I'll tell you what, everybody. I've sold Evan a couple deals, and he's you're so not typical. When I have the closing that I have with you, I know the money's going to be there the day before.
Right.
Which is crazy. I've never even heard of that. And it's gotta be funded. It's awesome. It's so like carefree and easy. It's very, very cool.
Why? What do you normally get?
Bro, oh my God.
What you guys deal hard money or private money or both?
Some guys use private money. Like, if they're using private money, it's always easy.
Right.
If it's hard money, then it's all like it depends on who the lender is. If it's Renovo Financial, it's easy.
Right.
But a lot of times it's hectic, and you never know when it's going to close. Sometimes the deal doesn't even fund till the next day. You know.
Right. Because the lender's got 1 million documents, and they got to review everything.
Yeah, so it's not even the lender; it's the lender's attorney. A lot of the time, they're on a different. There's so many people that have to be on the same page. Right. Sometimes it doesn't fund till the next day.
Right.
Oh, but with Evan, it's going to fund the day before. It's gangster.
Well, that's the thing. So I have if you have a relationship with a private lender, you say, hey, can you wire it?
What's the difference?
Because I like to do my closings early in the morning, like 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, do the walkthrough at 9 o'clock, go to closing at 10 o'clock, and then
be done.
And then be done. And I'm sure that the seller wants to get their money
as soon as possible
too. So if we could just wire it the day before, and then they get their check or their wire or whatever, then
it makes it easy for everybody.
Easy, buddy. Yep.
Yeah. Now, how many lenders do you use? Like, how many private lenders are in your Rolodex?
Probably 10 or 12. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Right.
And do they typically, one lender will lend on all
so I have a couple lenders. So here's the thing, let's talk about private lending.
Yeah, let's talk about
it. If you're not familiar with private lending is somebody lends you money, right? So let's say I'm buying a house, and let's say you got $100,000 that's just sitting there doing nothing, and I say, hey, can I borrow that? And I'll give you 8%, 10%, 12%, whatever it is. So you lend me the money. Now it's not as simple as that, right? So you have to have the documents in place. You have to have a mortgage, a note, personal guarantee, a confession of judgment, an assignment of rents. I mean, there's like a whole thing, a bunch of stuff you got to sign. And you should, and if you're doing these kinds of deals and you're using private money, make sure you do it the right way. So, so I know a lot of people that are and if you're looking to raise private money, here's who should you raise private monye from? People are start with people that start with your friends and family and all this stuff. But here's the deal. If you go and ask your parents to borrow $100,000, $200,000 to flip, and you've never done this before, and maybe even if they have the money and they don't believe in you, or they're like, get the hell out of here, they're probably not going to lend you the money, right?
No.
You need somebody who is familiar or wants to be familiar with the real estate process, but is not a full-time professional real estate investor, right? And so who also has the money sitting around doing nothing. So who are these people, right? 55 to 65-year-old guys, usually 50 plus, men and women that have money sitting in a 401k that they can roll over to a self-directed IRA and then lend it out. So you take a guy who's like 50, 55 years old, 60 years old, and he worked at a job since he was like 25.
Yeah.
And he worked there for like 20 years, right? And then what happened is he quit his job and then went out and did his own. Now he's got his own small business. Maybe he tries to flip a house on the side. Maybe he's got a couple rental properties, but he's not a professional real estate investor. That money that he has from when he was 25 to 45 is sitting in his old 401k, just collecting dust, basically. Yeah. Maybe making him a nominal, like percent,
return,
nominal return. Okay, so when you say, "Hey, Mr. Investor, or not Mr. Potential Lender, I would like to talk to you about how we can increase, that return for you. What if we roll this over to a self-directed IRA? You lend that money out. You can make this much percentage back, and the money is secured on the real estate. God forbid if anything ever happened to me, or if I went, went belly up, you get the deed in lieu of foreclosure. You're protected 100%, and then boom, they're happy, right? Yeah. So you can those are the kind of people that you talk to and network, and you can find them at real estate meetings, and you can find them at I would start with like real estate meetings and stuff like that.
Is that where so that's where you found yours?
Well, so there's like different real estate groups that you can join, real estate meetings that you can go to, and you just kind of talk to these, because there's guys out there that are like that have been doing real estate for like 40 years,
and they don't want to do it anymore.
And they have like a pile of money, right? They have like millions of dollars, and they're like, I ain't fucking flipping any houses anymore.
It's not worth it for them.
You know what I mean? And I'm done. They got their legacy portfolio, but they have a pile of cash, or they have like, and then they're just like, I want my 12%, send it to me in the every month, and don't bother me. Yes. and if you do a good job, I'll give it to you for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go after those people. Yeah.
Good people to go to.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And I bet a lot of these guys are going to these events to meet people to lend their money out to.
I don't know if they're going to the events, but like once in a while they'll show up, right?
Okay.
Or they might be a speaker, or they might be. I mean, you can kind of like, you got to kind of like network and like let it be known. Hey, I'm looking to raise private money. I'm looking to borrow money for a house.
Yeah.
Flipping deal. This is my background. This is my my resume. This is what I've done in the past. This is what I can do now. This is how you're going to be secured in this. And then boom, sure.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
And they probably see your social media. Here's my fucking Facebook.
Oh,
Go to my fucking Facebook.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can tell I'm out here flipping houses, my boy.
Yeah, because I always post videos on houses that I go to. Absolutely.
Yeah. Dude, Facebook is great. Social media in general is great for that. It's your resume.
And you don't have to have 1 million people. I mean,
my facts.
Like I said, I had 7,000 followers or friends, between friends and followers, like 7,000. And probably, and then I post on my stories. So I see how many people watch my stories. And that's where I post the most, is on my stories. And it's like 200 views. Once in a while I get 500 views.
Yeah.
A couple hundred views here and there. And then I get, because I'm on the professional dashboard on Facebook, right? Every like month, Facebook sends me like $10 because I guess
yeah.
I guess because I opted into the professional mode.
Cool.
So I guess when people are watching my videos once in a while, like the ads pop up and stuff like that.
Jay, $10 a month.
I'll
take it, right?
So I get to see how many people are follow me and watch my stuff. So it's like, it's not that much.
Yeah, but
you don't need that much. You don't need to
exactly.
To be in a villages. You can have 150 people in the village, and if you're the flipper in the village, then great.
It's really true.
Right.
It's all about you don't have to have the most followers. It's all about the engagement that you get from your followers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same thing here. I don't have the most followers, and my engagement is great.
Yeah, you want the engagement. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
For sure, quantity over quality over quantity.
Yeah.
There we go. But so, what you think you're going to do? What you said, 25 flips this year?
Maybe
20, 25. Or somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're a one-man team.
One-man team, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to say I'm a one-man team. There's a lot of people on my team.
Yeah, of course. Right? But, like, you do your own acquisitions. You do, like, you were the...
I'm the GC.
You don't have a bunch of young bulls following you around doing a bunch of shit.
No.
You're the GC also.
I'm the GC, yeah.
Yeah, so you do your acquisitions, you're the GC.
Yep.
You're a one-man team.
Yep.
As far as, like, what people would constitute a one-man team in this business.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
obviously, you have all your subcontractors and stuff like that, which other members of your team,
Yes.
obviously, but like you're still a one-man team in our world, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't have like a big office,
Yeah.
a bunch of employees or anything like that. If I take it to the next level, if I want to do 100 flips, but I feel like if I did something like that, then I would lose the quality.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, there's I guess there's guys that do that kind of stuff, but like right now I don't know.
You don't want to.
If I scale it, let's say I did 25 flips this year. If I scale that to 100, right? Am I going to make 4 times as much money, or am I going to have, or am I going to make the same amount of money or a little bit more money with a lot more headaches? You know what I mean?
Maybe double the money, but 4 times the headache.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Is that worth it for you?
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
It's all personal values.
Yeah, because like as of right now, I'm not like working from like 6 in the morning till 12 o'clock at night.
No, you seem like you're with your family all the
With
time.
my family a lot. Yeah,
that's why
I like 3 or 4 o'clock every day.
Yeah, that's right. You're one of my favorite real estate guys. I'm always with my family.
Right.
You could see you throw it on social media for everybody to see. You're always with your family. And
My
it's so
family.
cool.
I get to go to Jiu Jitsu. I get to go to I get to do podcasts.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is because when I used to train down the corner Balance.
Yeah.
So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday is like the Shark Tank. Like everybody's there, and like
Yeah.
there's all these like guys that are like in their like 30s, 40s, 50s, but they're like, it's like, do these guys have jobs?
How awesome is it?
It's
Yeah,
like they do. They got their own businesses. They're their own business. They're like
Yeah.
successful. They get to pick what they do. They get to train jiu-jitsu at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool. So I go there every Friday at 12.
Right.
Every Friday I go at 12. And it's so cool, all those people that are just like,
Right.
they have their own weird little
Right.
life that they're able to do that right in the middle of the day. It's a flex.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always...
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always interesting cats that are training in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
That's why I like it.
Exactly. Yeah. As opposed to you got to work a 9 to 5 job.
And then you train at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night.
Right. It's like, how you do that? You're tired.
Yeah, God bless the guys that are doing that.
I know, right.
I don't know when they see their families, but God bless them. You know what I mean? Just saying, I couldn't do it,
Right.
bro. Call me crazy, but I want to be with my family. I love that you always with your family.
Yeah.
Do you ever bring your kids to any of these houses or what?
Once in a while, I've taken my daughter, taken my son, like one-on-one. But like
They don't want to do it,
no, it's not that they don't want to do it. I mean, it's there's obviously like a danger aspect if it's
Yes.
pre-construction. I don't want to take them during construction. I'll take them to like I've taken them to a couple of the like staging parts. Once it's staged, it's fine.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
they climb on the couch.
Yeah,
and,
run around,
run
knock
around
yourself
and stuff
out.
like
I don't
that.
care. Yeah.
They get excited for stuff like that.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice.
If it's close, if it's more than like 10 or 15 minutes away, then I'm, they don't want to drive that far.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. You're screaming in the back of the car. Daddy, take us to the park.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. That's funny. Do you have to go see a lot of houses every day though, or like?
But
No.
you see a lot of houses? What was it?
Yeah, are you seeing a lot of houses, whether they're like a day, whether they're houses you're like looking to buy or houses that you're currently working on?
So most of my day is filled with going around to the different
Your
projects
sites.
to make sure that what's the next phase, all right? So does the kitchen need to be put in? Is the electric done? Is the plumbing done? Is this, when does it need to be staged? Like coordinating that kind of stuff. And then several times a week, I'm going out and looking at houses. And I'm not looking at like a ton of houses. Like if I can look at a house a day, that'd be great. But it's, it's like usually a couple a week.
Oh God.
Yeah.
How many do you think you buy out of the ones that you go see?
That's the thing is the ones that I go and look at,
You getting them?
I'm getting them. Yeah.
You're a good salesman.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
You're a good salesman.
It's not only just being a good salesman. It's knowing when to spot the deal and swoop in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last deal, I sold to Evan. He's like, oh, yeah, like we were talking about it. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm going to say to you, motherfucker. It was sly. I was like, dude, this is not an asshole. I don't remember what the situation is. Like, can you do this price? I'm like, I got to think about it. And he goes, okay, what? In my mind, I was like, all right, I'm going to take the end of the day and like, I'll figure it out. And he goes, all right, cool. I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to walk down the road. I'll be right back. When I come back, let me know. And he just walks away, gives me a little phone call. It's probably not even a real phone call, God knows.
Then I called my wife.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm icing these fucking.
So that was a sales tactic.
Yeah, I knew it was a sales tactic.
That I learned doing in-home sales.
Yeah.
Right?
I knew exactly what you were doing. I just respected it. I was like, this fucking guy.
Right. But here's the thing. What do you got to think about? It's like you don't really. I need to think about it. It's just like a stall tactic. When you
I should have said, I want to stall really quick to see if I can get high.
But what it really comes down to is you're going to have a 5 or 10 minute conversation with whoever your partner is on the deal, because you had a new partner there.
Yeah,
right?
he's my acquisition
guy, right? And then and you're going to say, hey, does this work for us or not?
Yeah,
and that's all. So you're either having it now, you're having it at the end of the day. I just bumped it up for you.
Yeah,
I saved you time.
Yeah, you
right?
saved
I saved you time. I solved the problem.
There we go. He was fired though. He's a good salesman. I bet you get. How often do you do that? Probably all the time.
If I need to, yeah.
If I need to. I'm going to start doing that. I need to start doing that with these sellers.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try to make a call, Well, let me know when you're ready.
But see, you have to preface it like this, okay? So you're getting into a situation where the person says, well, I need to think about it. And you're kind of like, all right, I understand. You're going to talk to it about it with your partner, or you're going to do this and that. So so if the partner's not there, I would say, hey, well, can you call him now?
Call him.
Right? Call him now. Yeah. So then.
Smart.
Right? Always say, call him now. Can you call him now? And I mean, I've got so many deals of, can you call them now?
Really?
Oh, all the time, dude, all the time. And then the other thing is, okay, whatever conversation that partners have, whether they're business partners, whether they're husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, almost all the time, it's not this big, long, drawn-out conversation. It's you're gonna talk about it for about 5 or 10 minutes and discuss what you need. Now, it's just a matter of when you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So you want to move that. You want to move that up to now.
I don't want you to do it at 6 o'clock at night. I want you to do it right now.
Yeah. So what you say is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you guys discuss this deal, I feel like we're very close on the numbers here. Here's what I'm going to do. When you guys talk, it's not like you're going to have this big, long, drawn-out conversation that's going to last for hours and hours, right? You're probably going to talk. It's going to take 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at most, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to make a phone call real quick. I got to call my wife. You guys talk about it. When you're ready, come grab me.
I'll be right outside.
I'll be right outside. And then just get up and go. Get up and get up and go. Right?
That's what he did, though. That's what he did. He left me and Andrew just sitting there like,
right? So then it's like, all right, we're going to talk about it. I went, made my phone call. You guys talked about it. You said yes. Boom.
Deal. Easy money. What the heck? Yeah, that was fire. I'm stealing that from you. I haven't gotten to use it since, but I'm gonna.
Right.
Yeah, I want to use it back.
I invented that right after somebody showed me how to do it.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's great. Yeah, kudos to that guy. Yeah. I would tell people sitting. I invented that after my buddy showed me how to do it.
Right. It's like people like in Jiu Jitsu. They're like, "Oh yeah, I learned this new, or I came up with this new arm bar." It's like you didn't.
Yeah, you didn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no new moves.
Right. There's no new moves. Yeah.
No new moves.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's really, really, really funny. Yeah, you guys, you ice us with that. I liked it a lot. I've thought about that essentially. Evan is a good salesman.
It's just solving a problem.
Yeah.
Right? You had a problem. You had a house you wanted to sell. I knew you came. You had a long drive. Not a long drive, but what was it, 45 minutes to get there?
I don't know. I'm in the back of the car working.
Well, whatever. Yeah. So I just came from the job site there.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's probably like 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Yeah. So it's like you drove all the way out here. I'm like I didn't know how many other people you told about it.
Yeah.
I figured you didn't want to come out here and I knew that the showings were probably. She wasn't like showing it to
a million people.
A million different people. So it's just like, all right, let's just get this done, wrap it up.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't gonna let me show that to him. Though.
Yeah, right.
Nah. She's a shark.
Yeah.
And it works out. Look at this. What the heck?
Yeah.
Man, you're a good salesman. You can tell it. You spent years in home selling.
That's what So I would sell like a roof, right? Or I'd sell like windows or something like that, right? Or somebody's roof. And it's like the roof, like, could their roof last a couple more years? Could their roof last like another year or whatever? Or here's the thing. The longer you wait for something like this, the harder it's going to get to do. Like, it's not going to get any easier. right? So if you're dealing with like a home improvement project or something like as monumental as selling your house, it's probably like the biggest transaction
most people are going to make.
That people are going to make, right? So it's like, it's never going to get easier to do this. In other words, if you wait another year and your roof leaks and this beam cracks and rots,
you're going to be cooked.
And then you got mold growing on here. And then the other thing, the cost of everything goes up every year. So the roof today is going to cost 10% more next year and 10% more the year after that. It's like, the longer you wait to do this, the harder it's going to get.
You might as well
do it now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Sign here.
Sign here. Sign here. Yeah, that's what he did to us. He got us. It was good.
Right.
Heck yeah, I bet you most of the appointments you're going on, you're getting. Would you say at least half?
Now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I'm going out to look at like deals that you send me.
Yeah.
Stuff that you send me. Yeah, probably, I don't know about half, but like a lot of them. I'll go, like wholesalers sending me stuff, realtors are sending me stuff.
Okay.
I look at some once in a while. I'll look at stuff on the MLS.
Yeah, I like the MLS.
And I always make an offer. You know,
Yeah, they don't always like it.
Oh yeah, I always like it, right? Right. But I always go out, make an offer, and then see what they say. You know, then the game starts.
Then the game starts. I meant like it takes me like 4 or 5 appointments to get a deal from me.
That's good. That's real good. Yeah,
It's not bad.
it's just a matter of how you get one a day.
One deal a day.
Yeah,
Just like you.
right.
I don't think for me, I don't.
You just need more.
How much more money would that really make me in comparison to like the stress levels too?
Sure,
Like,
right.
For me to do a deal a day, oh man, that's a big team I would need.
Right. You would. Yeah, you would.
I would need a huge team.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going right now and you have a system and you're fine with that and you're closing deals, and
Yeah, I'm not gonna do deal a week.
deal a week is fine. Yeah, deal a week is good.
Deal a week.
Yeah.
And then everything I do with Andrew is like icing on the cake. Or like any free deals I get from social media is like icing on the cake.
Right.
I look at that more as like a whole separate thing.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know, what the heck? A deal a week for Mr. Nick. Let's go. From Nicky the Rogue.
Nicky the Rogue, man.
Yeah,
You get a deal a week, you're gonna be wearing Ric Flair robes in no time.
Yeah, right now I'm rocking the Versace robe.
There you go.
know? But I need some more.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go, my G. Heck yeah. Is there anything else you wanna talk about or tell these people?
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Don't even tell us now.
I don't know. I mean, what else can we talk about? We can talk about Jiu Jitsu. We can talk about
You still reading your kids every day?
so what?
You still teaching all your kids to read like crazy? All these kids, they learn to read before they turn 1 year old.
Well, my daughter, I don't have to do anything.
She just reads.
She reads on her own. My son, yeah, he's getting into it now. Yeah, now he's 3. He's like just like read. It's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, he's still like, so she was like super advanced, and I think it was like abnormal. I didn't realize how like fast she just got everything, dude. It was like crazy.
She was just about it.
Yeah. And she was just so advanced and far ahead of like anybody her age.
Yeah.
Right, for anything. And then like and that's great. And the problem is like she's at a reading level right now where she can read things, but she's not like I don't want to read Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Because like, hey, that's like too scary. It's like too far ahead. Like I don't want her to read stuff that's like gonna like terrorize her.
Yeah.
Because she's just a little kid. So
she doesn't need to reread teenage stuff.
yeah, she does not need to be reading any teenage stuff or any of that crap.
Yeah.
It was like it's funny because like she was in before she went to kindergarten, she was in like preschool, and then the teachers would give out notes that we're gonna have a pajama party. This is like her preschool.
Yeah.
The teacher said we're at the pajama party on Friday, and she can read that shit. She's like, "We're having a pajama party on Friday," and the teacher's like, "Oh shit, we
forgot that she can read." Oh man, that's really good.
But it's great. It's great, you know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And and do you guys have her like a special school or something like that? Or
Yeah, she's in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
You gonna have her in public school? I think you're the type of guy who would homeschool.
You know, here's the thing. we're going to have her in public school until we don't have her in public school, right? So it's like the school district we have is a great school district.
Yeah.
But if they start doing weird shit like you hear in some of these places, and, you know, if they start like saying like boys can be girls and girls can be boys, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want any part of that. So far, we haven't really had to deal with that, but, you know, I don't know.
And the night is young.
Huh?
The night is young. Who knows, man? Yeah, I think we're, my son, you know, who knows? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who knows? I'm not really sure. You know, we'll see.
Right.
My daughter, I have full time. Okay. Yeah, we may put her in the Montessori school.
Montessori, yeah. That's good.
I like the idea that she may do that.
Right.
You know.
Right. The other thing is it's a lot of like, it's a big like responsibility to like homeschool. Like anybody can do it. I don't want to say most people can do it.
I'm not homeschooling. I don't have to.
Here's the thing that I learned. Okay, so I read this book. It's called How to Teach Your Kids How to Read. How to Teach Babies How to Read, or How to Teach Your Kids How to Read. That's something like that. It's by this guy named Glenn Doman. Okay, and so he wrote this book back in the 50s or 60s, and he had started doing work to teach kids with brain damage back then. They were doing work back in the 40s and 50s, and he passed away.
Yeah.
He was in his 90s when he passed away, maybe like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, something. I don't know exactly when, but he lived a long, full life, and he had done research and work on how to teach kids with brain damage how to read. And the methods that they were doing to teach kids with brain damage how to read, the kids with the brain damage were reading better than kids than the other kids. And the reason why they're doing it is because they were exposed. They weren't doing anything like crazy. No. They were just showing them stuff on flashcards and like big font, and they were doing it repetitively, and they were doing it every day, and sometimes multiple times a day. And it's not like it takes hours and hours. You do it like boom, 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 boom. You show them 5 or 10 flashcards, and then you go about playing or something like that. So now the kid sees that. And then you add on to that, and then every day you show them another flashcard, and you take one away. So that now instead of seeing, you know, they have one new word and one old word that you take out, and so you keep doing that, and it just builds on their vocabulary. And if you can see, like if a child can recognize their mother, which they can, like when a baby's born, their eyesight's a little blurry and stuff like that. But like I don't know, I guess maybe around like 3 months they can kind of like see, and then like 6 months you see pretty clear. If they can see your mother, and they know it's the mom, and they know it's the dad, and they could read they can read. They're not going to read Shakespeare, but they can read. They can read they could hold. You could hold up the letter A or the letter B or whatever. And they could read that. They could read that. And you could do that. It's 3 months, 6 months old. Now they might not
be able to vocalize.
They might not be able to vocalize. They may not be able to they might not know what it means, but they can still comprehend. Oh, this is and if you show that to them every day for a week, they know what it is.
They're going to know what it is.
You show anything for a week, they're going to know what it is. It's just like one thing, right?
Yeah.
And you show it to them multiple times, and then you keep building upon that and building upon that, and that's how you can teach a kid how to read.
Right?
Yeah. And then the thing is, the consistency is you got to do it every day, right?
With anything you got to do it.
You got to make it fun. You got to make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it fun for the kid.
But you make it fun.
I make it fun for them. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You're a fun guy, bro.
Yep. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. That's cool. Yeah, you spend a lot of time with them. They must love you.
I hope so.
Hope so.
Yeah, they better. I'll whoop their ass.
Yeah.
Never do that. No, great. Yeah. I recommend. So here's the thing. Having kids is like built-in fulfillment, right? Have people always looking for their purpose and this and that. But if you have kids, if you have a good relationship, if you can get married and have kids, I know a lot of people like nowadays it's like, oh, it's not, you know, it's not a good thing or whatever. We can do this or that, but it's hard, obviously, but it's like it's hard, but watching your children progress.
It is insane. My gosh.
It's so fulfilling. So Tony Robbins says that the way you can get fulfillment is through growth and contribution, right?
Yeah.
So you grow, but you can and you contribute. But when you see your children grow, you're already contributing to your children. So you get so much fulfillment.
The fulfillment is insane. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. I wish I started having kids earlier.
Right.
I really mean it.
And like because I would when I take my kids out, I know what they're physically capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember taking my daughter out to the park every day. This is before my son, and I would see her. She could climb on something, or she couldn't climb on something, and I wouldn't, sometimes help her, like if she absolutely needed it.
Yeah.
But like I would see her do it, but then I would see her like climb on something higher, and she figured out how to do it. And now with my son, like he was able to. We have this little creek in our backyard, and he's able to leap across the creek now. And before he couldn't do that.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa, why didn't you start doing that?
You know their physical limit. Their physical capabilities, and when they get to the next like little thing, it's like, that's awesome,
right? Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
my daughter just started walking without holding anybody's hand for like small distances.
Right?
It's like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah. Hey,
it's nuts.
Yeah,
that's good shit.
So have kids.
Have kids. So get these girls pregnant, boys. That's fact. Yeah, buddy. Heck yeah. Dang right.
Yeah, quit being an incel.
Damn
have
right.
Kids.
My G.
All right, bro.
Evan, thank you so much for coming on.
Yep. Next time we're going to wear robes.
Next time we're wearing robes. How do they get a hold of you?
How do they get a hold of me?
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Flip
Daddy.
Flip Daddy.
Find me on Facebook, Evan Zaremba. Follow me if you got deals in Delaware County. I'm buying stuff in Delco all the time.
Yep.
If you're a realtor, bird dog, wholesaler, reach out. Love to talk, and that's it.
There we go. Let's make it happen. All right, everybody. Happy hunting.